Let's be real for a second. When you hear the word discipline, what comes to mind? For most of us, it kind of sounds like a punishment, right? A total grind, something we just have to do. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if discipline is actually the key, the secret architecture for building unshakable trust in ourselves?
See, this is the classic view on the left. Discipline feels like punishment. It feels like you have to be perfect, and it's just another chore on your to-do list. But I want you to look at the right side. What if discipline is really about keeping a promise to yourself? What if it's the source of your personal power and a way to actually build your own identity? Let's unpack that.
Okay, so let's dive into this first big idea because it's a game changer. This is all about a fundamental shift in how we think. We're moving away from that old negative frame of punishment, and instead we're going to embrace the incredible power of keeping promises to ourselves.
And here it is. This is the core definition that changes everything. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do stuff you hate. Nope. It's simply the act of keeping a promise you made to yourself, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about honoring your word with the one person you're with 24/7.
You. And look, this is why it's so tough, right? Life is messy. Our moods are all over the place, our energy levels spike and crash, and things just happen. Nobody feels motivated and ready to crush it 100% of the time. That's just not how being human works. This right here, this is the mindset. This is where we draw a line in the sand between motivation and discipline. Motivation is a feeling, and we all know feelings are fickle. They come and go. But discipline, that's a commitment. It's that quiet voice inside that says, yeah, I really don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. I made a promise. And that's the exact moment self-trust is born.
So what happens when you start keeping those promises over and over again? Well, something pretty amazing starts to take shape. Discipline stops being this thing that you do, and it actually starts becoming part of who you are.
Think about it. When you first start, it feels like this constant battle, like you're pushing a giant boulder up a hill every single day. But with every little promise you keep, something shifts. That struggle gets a little bit easier. The action starts to feel, well, more natural. And eventually, that action just gets woven into the fabric of your identity. It's not something you have to debate with yourself about every morning. It becomes a non-negotiable part of your life, kind of like brushing your teeth. You just do it. This athlete analogy just hits the nail on the head. A pro athlete doesn't wake up and have a big debate about whether they should train. They train. Why? Because that's who they are. It's an expression of their identity, not just a reaction to whether they feel good or bad that day. Okay, so the big question is, how in the world do we build an identity like that? Well, the secret is that it's not about some huge, dramatic overnight transformation.